Hi there. Who's ready for some fun on this Monday? Or Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever day you're watching. We're going to have a couple of stories and a fun craft today. Our first book is called Epossumondas Plays Possum. It's written by Colleen Salley and illustrated by Janet Stevens. And it's also published by Harcourt, and we're reading it with their permission. Now, one summer morning, as butterflies flitted between the zinnias, Epossumondas and his mama were sipping sweet tea and chit-chatting about this and that. "Look, Mama, that butterfly just flew right into the swamp all by itself," said Epossumondas. "Why do you always tell me not to go into the swamp by myself?" "Oh, land's sake, Sugar Pie, the swamp is scary and dangerous," Mama said. "Paths go every which way. You head down one path and then another, and the first thing you know, you're all turned around and lost. And you don't want to get lost in the swamp, because something's in there just waiting for little possums like you." "What is it, Mama?" "It's the loup-garou." "What's a loup-garou, Mama?" "Oh, I'm not sure, honey, but I suppose it looks like the most awful thing you could imagine." "What does the loup-garou sound like, Mama?" "I don't know, sweetie, but some say it has the scariest snarl you've ever heard. Others say it has the meanest hiss, and some say it has the loudest snort." "What does the loup-garou do, Mama?" "Oh, that's the worst of all. If little possums don't mind their mamas, the loup-garou snatches them right up with its big, ugly claws. So, stay clear of the swamp, Epossumondas, and you'll be just fine. Now I'll go inside and fix our lunch." Epossumondas went back to thinking about this and that. The loup-garou, the swamp, the butterflies, and when the prettiest butterfly he ever saw flew by, well, he started thinking about chasing it. Now, those of you who've met Epossumondas know that he's not a naughty possum, but he is a forgetful possum, and when he saw that butterfly, he plumb forgot about the loup-garou. And without a thought of what Mama had said, Epossumondas ran after that butterfly. And you know where it went? You know where it went. Right into the swamp. And so did Epossumondas. He went off this way. No butterfly. He went off that way. No butterfly. He ran down path after path, every which way. No butterfly. Epossumondas stopped. "Oh, which way do I go?" he wondered. "I'm lost." And suddenly he remembered Mama's warning. But now he was too deep into the swamp to find his way back. And then, near a clump of cypress trees, he heard "Rrr, rrr, rrr." "Oh, that's the scariest snarl I ever heard," Epossumondas gasped. "Oh, it must be the loup-garou. What'll I do?" And then he flopped back, legs up, eyes shut, perfectly still, just like a good possum should. "Rrr, rrr, rrr." The critter came closer and closer and closer. "Rrr. Hey, this possum is dead," it snarled. "I don't eat no dead meat," and it padded off down the path. Well, Epossumondas opened his eyes. "Aw, that's no loup-garou. It's just a ferocious, terrifying old critter-eating swamp cat. So I'm not scared one bit." But before he could run off, he heard tss, tss, tss. Oh, that's the meanest, loudest I ever heard, Epossumondas gasped. Oh, it must be the loup-garou. So he flopped back down, legs up, eyes shut, perfectly still, just like a good possum should. Tss, tss, tss. Oh, that slithering thing came closer and closer and closer. Tss. This possum is dead, it hissed. I don't eat no dead meat. And it slithered away. Epossumondas opened his eyes. Aw, that's no loup-garou. He's just a terrible, slimy old possum-swallowing swamp snake. So I'm not scared one little bit. But before Epossumondas could run off, he heard, oh, that's the loudest snort I ever heard, Epossumondas gasped. It must be the loup-garou. So he flopped back down, legs up, eyes shut, perfectly still, just like a good possum should. Oh, the creature stomped closer and closer and closer. Huh. This possum is dead, it snorted. I don't eat no dead meat. And it stomped away. Epossumondas opened his eyes. Aw, that's no loup-garou. It's just a nasty, crusty old varmint-chomping swamp hog. So I'm not scared one little bit. But before he could run off, an enormous, cold, dark shadow moved over him. A shadow with wings. A shadow with claws. Oh, those big, ugly claws will snatch me up just like Mama said, Epossumondas gasped. Oh, it must be the loup-garou. So he stayed down, legs up, eyes shut, perfectly still, just as a good possum should. He felt the shadow come closer and closer and closer. And then those huge claws did take hold of Epossumondas and snatched him right up. Was he scared? Maybe, but he was also ticklish. Really ticklish. He started wiggling and jiggling and giggling, and he just couldn't help himself. And the shadow opened its claws and dropped Epossumondas like a hot potato. Why, this varmint isn't dead, it squawked. I never, ever eat no live meat. And it flapped away. Epossumondas looked up. Aw, that's no loup-garou. That's just a creepy, smelly, old bone-picking swamp buzzard. So I'm not scared one little bit. And as Epossumondas lay there all worn out from playing dead, wondering how he would ever find his way home, he heard, Honey, where are you? Epossumondas, you answer Mama. And Epossumondas hollered, Mama, Mama, I'm here. And in less than a minute, he saw his Mama running toward him. Oh, Mama, he cried, I forgot what you said, and I went in the swamp all by myself. Well, Mama scooped him up. Oh, sugar, you need to listen to me. I was worried sick that the loup-garou had gotten you. You must have been so scared to death. Oh, no, Mama, I didn't even see the loup-garou. Epossumondas laughed. All I saw was a ferocious, terrifying, old critter-eating swamp cat, and then a terrible, slimy, old possum-swallowing swamp snake, and then a nasty, crusty, old varmint-chomping swamp hog, And then a creepy, smelly old bone-picking swamp buzzard that snatched me right up. So I wasn't scared one little bit. You saw what, Epossumondas? Oh, Epossumondas, you don't have the sense you were born with. You gotta run away from those fearsome critters too. But Mama, I do have the sense I was born with, said Epossumondas. I just played dead, like every good possum should. Well, you sure are my clever little patootie, Mama told him. Now, I think we've both had enough excitement for one day. Let's go find ourselves some of that sweet tea. So Epossumondas and his mama headed back down the path toward home. Now, at the end of the story, they talk about what a loup-garou is. You may have heard about. A loup-garou is, well, down in Louisiana, that's what they call a werewolf. So I'm so glad that Epossumondas didn't see any werewolves in that swamp. And I'm also glad that he did what every good possum knows to do. When you see danger, you fall down and pretend you're dead. And most of the time, seems to work just fine. Well, we're going to have a craft next, so I'll see you in a minute. So for today's craft, we're actually making a possum. What you're going to need is a toilet paper tube. There are lots of uses for that, and we're finding them this summer. You'll need some paint, gray paint if you have it. If you don't, black and white paint will work just fine. You'll need some scissors, some scrap paper. I have white and pink and gray. And again, if you don't have those colors, I found we can even paint the white paper for what we're going to be doing. You're going to need some glue. It can be a glue stick or it could be like Elmer's glue. You can need a pencil. I also have colored pencil here so that if I didn't have pink paper, I could color the white paper, and you can do the same with just a regular pencil to make it the gray color if you wanted to. I need a pair of googly eyes, a small pink pom-pom, a couple of paper clips, a pink pipe cleaner, some Scotch tape, a paintbrush and something to be your paint palette, and then I always like to have some water around when I'm working with paint and some paper towel so I can clean things up. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint our toilet paper tube. Now I found that my gray paint was really too light for what I wanted, so I put some of the gray paint in my palette, which is just the lid off of a jar. And then I added some black and mixed it up. And that makes for a nice dark gray, which is what I was looking for. And then you're just going to take your toilet paper tube, put your fingers in the end and hold it that way and paint it. All the way on. When you need to, you can just flip it over without having to touch it and paint it so that it's all done. Now you're going to need to let that sit for a little bit until the paint dries, because we're going to be gluing on it and the glue will not stick if your paint is still wet. So set it aside. You may want to pause this a little bit, or we can do a couple of other things while we're waiting for our paint to dry. So I'm just going to put my paintbrush in there and set that aside to dry. Now for our possum, we're going to need a white face and 4 feet, 2 ears, The feet and the ears are made of gray paper and then a little bit of pink. So what you can do is you can draw those kind of freehand. For the ears, the pink inside, I made it kind of a teardrop shape. I don't know if you can see that. I'll hold it up. Kind of like that. And then the ears are circles about the size of my thumb is what I was using. Kind of like that. And then for the legs, maybe I'll show this using the marker. It'll show up better. You're going to want 4 legs. With toes at the end. I'll outline the ears too so you can see those better. And anytime as we're going along, feel free to pause the video so that you can catch up to the steps, but there are the ears and the legs. And then I'm going to want a heart using this white sheet of paper, and it's maybe about 3 inches long. And you're going to want to stretch your heart a little bit so that it's longer than it is wide for his face. Let me hold that up again so you can see. And again, I'll draw it with a marker so you can see what I'm doing better. So you can see that it's elongated heart. And then you can cut those out. Now I already have a set here that's all cut out. You can see how I made the toes. And then I can assemble the ears by just putting some glue on the back of the pink and attaching it. And it doesn't matter if the pink extends down a little bit beyond, because that's going to be glued onto the back of the heart face. And I'll do it with the other one as well. So there are my 2 ears. I've got 3 of the feet. I'm going to make the toes on this last one. So there are his toes. And I think once you're ready to assemble it, you can glue on your eyes. I think mine are going to have a little purple rim around the outside, but I put a lot of glue on it because this is going to be curved as you put it around the tube, and you'll need some extra glue to be doing that. And then I'm going to want to put his nose on. So I've got my pink pom-pom here. I'm just going to kind of squeeze that to get it to set. Again, the Elmer's glue may work better for holding something like that on. And then what you're going to want to do, once your toilet paper tube is dry, is you're going to want to glue your face on. And it's going to extend a little bit past the end. So you're only going to do it to maybe, about halfway. So put the glue on it. My eyes kind of shifted there. Got some extra purple. And what I found helped, because it does take a little bit of time for that glue to set, is to take the extra large paper clips and just slide them on either side to hold that face into the curve while it's drying. And I'm just going to get that glue up because it's bothering me. I don't want him to have purple eyes. There we go. Okay, like that. Then you're going to glue on the arms and the legs. And they'll go on the back side. So we'll have the legs going one direction. And again, squeeze it a little bit while you're putting it on so it gets a good solid stick. And then one on the other side. Like that. And then the front legs. And they're going to kind of go in the other direction. And we're going to want to squeeze in these eyes. I should have put those on before I put the glue on the heart face, but I think I'll be able to slide those in. So like that. And then what does he need? Well, he needs his tail, of course. So you're going to take your pipe cleaner, and you probably are not going to need the whole thing. I cut off maybe about 3 or 4 inches because these are pretty long ones. So I'm going to do that. And you can either staple it inside or tape it, or both. I'm just going to use some tape for today. It'll depend on whether or not you have a stapler that will fit inside the opening on the tube. But you're going to want to lay him straight so his face is up, and then just put some tape on it. I don't know about you, but my fingers are kind of sticky from the glue stick. But it's like that. And then all you're going to want to do is just give that tail a little bit of a curl at the end so he can hang. And that's our possum craft. So we'll just let him be, and then we'll go and have one more story. See you in a second. Our second story today is called Don't Laugh, Joe. It's by Keiko, Kasza, and it's published by G.P. Putnam. Mother Possum dearly loved her little son, Joe, but he was always giggling. Lately, his giggling made her worry. Mother Possum was about to teach Joe the most important lesson a possum can learn. Joe, said Mother Possum, you must learn how to play dead. Why? Asked Joe. Because we possums escape our enemies by playing dead, Mother Possum explained. And when you learn this trick, Joe, I'll bake you a possum's favorite dessert, a bug pie. Well, they started to practice. No giggling, Joe, Mother Possum warned. No problem, Mom, Joe answered. So Joe played dead, and his mother sniffed his fur like a hungry fox. Joe laughed so hard that his stomach hurt. "Can I have some pie now?" he asked. "No way, Joe," Mother Possum scolded. "Dead possums don't laugh." Joe practiced playing dead again. This time his mother poked him like a nasty coyote. Poke, poke, poke. Joe laughed so hard that he screamed for her to stop. "Can I have my pie now?" he asked. "No way, Joe," his mother scolded. "Dead possums don't scream." Joe practiced playing dead once more. This time, his mother shook him like a scary wildcat. Shake, shake, shake. Joe laughed so hard that he wiggled loose and fell on the floor. "How about some bug pie, Mom?" he asked. "No way, Joe," Mother Possum scolded. "Dead possums don't wiggle." Joe's mother was worried about his laughing, but his friends loved it. They liked to watch Joe play dead because he made them laugh too. "But Joe," Mother Possum said, sighing, "what will you do when real danger comes?" Well, one day Mother Possum took Joe outside to practice. "This time," she said, "I'll be a grumpy old bear. And when I growl at you, you play dead, okay, Joe?" "Nothing to it, Mom," Joe said. But just as Mother Possum was about to growl, a real grumpy old bear came out of the woods. He let out the fiercest growl Joe had ever heard. Joe and his mother immediately fell to the ground to play dead. The grumpy old bear sniffed Joe's fur. Sniff, sniff, sniff. The grumpy old bear poked Joe's tummy. Poke, poke, poke. Finally, the grumpy old bear shook Joe up and down. Shake, shake, shake. Joe didn't laugh. Joe didn't scream. Joe didn't wiggle. For the first time, he played dead perfectly. Oh, Mother Possum was so very proud of him. But the grumpy old bear wouldn't go away. He sat and sat and sat. And suddenly, the bear started to cry big tears. "Oh, this is terrible," he moaned. "I'm always so grumpy. I thought that if anyone could make me laugh, it would be little Joe the possum. But when I find him, oh, poor Joe drops dead before my eyes. Oh, this is awful." Oh, now, when he heard the bear's story, Joe was relieved. He even began to feel sorry for the sobbing bear. "Hey, Mr. Bear," he called. "I'm not dead. I was just playing dead." Well, the bear was so surprised, he almost jumped out of his fur. "Playing dead?" he cried. "Boy, you're good at that. Oh, please, Joe," he begged. "Teach me how to laugh." "It's easy," said Joe. "Lots of things are funny, Mr. Bear. What happened just now is funny." And he started to giggle. And soon his laughter spread to everyone around him, even to the grumpy old bear. And before long, the animals were laughing so hard that the whole forest shook. "Oh, Joe," the bear howled, "thank you for teaching me to laugh." "Thank you, Mr. Bear," Joe answered, "for teaching me how to play dead." "Now can I have my pie?" Joe asked his mother. "Absolutely," Mother Possum answered. "Everyone, please come and join us for some delicious bug pie." "With grasshoppers," Joe shouted gleefully, "and beetles, and yummy cockroaches too." The other animals suddenly stopped their giggling. Bug pie? Cockroaches? And one by one, they fell to the ground. and played dead. Well, those are our stories and our craft today for Monday is Funday. We hope you'll join us again next week for some other stories, some other craft, but I guarantee we'll have some fun. See you next time.